guys, welcome to the next episode of Everything Counts podcast. This is where discipline, mindset, and action collide. Here we cut through the excuses, expose the habits that hold men back. We share the tools that build strong fathers, leaders, and men who refuse to settle. Because in life, business, health, and fatherhood, everything counts. Every choice, every habit, every rep, every day. All right, guys, let's turn discipline into action. Today's guest, very good friend of mine, Mohammed. On the show, we've created a bit of a bio for him, and it goes a little like this. Mohammed Ali Ayad is a tradie turned tech entrepreneur who transformed his decade on the construction sites into one of Australia's most exciting startups, iDeliver, the Uber Eats for construction. What began as a simple idea has evolved into a leading tech platform, making the sourcing and movement of materials simple, fast, and transparent. Coming from a humble background and grounded in faith, Mo credits his discipline, gratitude, and persistence to his family and religion. He's passionate about not only building companies, but people. Oh, God, I get emotional just reading this. Showing that hard work, integrity, and resilience can rewrite any story. He lives by the motto, which I love. Every day is a Monday until every day is a holiday. I love it. Reflecting his relentless pursuit of freedom and purpose. Mo's vision is to redefine construction itself, inspiring a new generation of builders and entrepreneurs who aren't afraid to get their hands dirty while dreaming big. At his core, he's driven to make a dent in the world through generosity, proving that real success means more when it's shared. Welcome, Mo. How are you?
Made me sound way more.
Oh, how good's that? So tell me, mate. Tell me. Let's. We've known each other for 4 or 5 years now. Tell us where it all started.
For me, I'll be honest, man. I came out of school fucking full of energy and nothing else. To be honest, I didn't know what plans were, didn't know what ambitions were, didn't really have much going for me. I was really good at sport at school, and then but I couldn't hold a job. Nothing. I got out of school, my brother got me a job in a factory, got sacked from that factory, moved to another factory, got sacked from that factory. Then, you know what I mean, I was just on 18, so then just started playing up, partying, etc. Fucked around for ages, but because I had so much energy, I'll be honest, I was just, I just thrashed things, you know what I mean? I thrashed things to a point where, like, I don't want to do that anymore, you know what I mean? And at the start, I thrashed a lot of bad things, so to speak, right? And then over time, I just sort of started to channel my energies into different areas. I started noticing that, I had smarts, some smarts. And to be honest with you, at one stage, I was about maybe 19, 20. I got a job just working as a labourer for a crane yard, and I was mixing grout. And I used to just make the mixer immaculate. I used to fucking have all these certain ways that I would do things, because I honestly thought I was never going to get off the mixer. I never ever thought I was going to get off the mixer. And I thought I was getting paid $51.50 an hour, and I was like, bro, I'm set. I'll fucking buy a house. I'm all right here. I'll stay on this job site forever. It was like I didn't actually know that I had any sort of, like I said, intelligence, smarts, passion. I didn't know none of that stuff. And then over time, people would realize, fuck, or they'll give me something to do, and then I'll do it really well. And then he'd be like, oh, bro, you reckon you can read this plan? And then I'll start reading the drawings, and then I'll start picking up on things on the drawings. And then over time, they'll just put me in roles, but I still didn't actually understand that this is because I'm smart, or this is because I'm good at something. I just thought this is just part of the job, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then over time, I ended up, just working my way up. And then I got to a point where I sort of it was like I hit a flat spot. I was working with my brother by then, and he was very reliant on a couple of people within his business. And then something happened where one of these guys couldn't go there anymore. And then when he was gone, I said to my brother, I'll just step up. I'll just fucking take it. My brother was like completely against it. Anyway, lo and behold, I excelled. And then from there on out, I actually started to be aware of myself. I actually started saying, no, I understand authority. I understand how to direct people. I understand how to take instruction. I understand how to give instruction, etc. Then, over time, just evolved into, I actually wanted, what led me to iDeliver was because I left my brother, working for my brother, because I wanted to go and build industrial warehouses. That was my ultimate goal. we were building industrial factories. My brother's a precaster. I was a rigger. We were building industrial factories for everybody, right? Everybody. And I said to him, bro, these people are doing it backwards. We've got a 20-man team. We've got all plant machinery, warehousing, everything. Let's just do it ourselves, bro.
How old were you at this point?
Bro, I was probably 22.
Wow.
I said to him, bro, let's just do it ourselves. You know, like, we don't need no one. I said to him, we can use the business as a vehicle. And I had no idea of a business back then. It was just like, I looked at it and I thought, okay, logically, this thing turns over a bit of money. We can do this. And I was actually having a conversation with this guy that we'd done a job for. I won't say who they are because they're well known as a builder. And I said to him, George, what did you pay for this site? And he goes, 9 million. And I said to him, how much does the build cost you? He goes, 10 million. I go, how much would you sell it for? Like everything here. And he goes, we'll sell each unit for 1.1 million. I go, there's 32 units here. And he goes, yeah. I go, so that's what, 35 million? And he goes to me, yeah. I said, in 10 months. And he goes, yeah. And I go in my head, bro, this guy done this thing backwards. It took him 10 months because he done it the wrong way around, right? It would have taken us 6 as an example, right? Because industrial warehousing is very simple. It's fucking 4 walls and a mezzanine.
Yeah.
So then I said to my brother, let's do it. And he was completely against it. It's not the time. And I just said to him, all right, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go get my builder's license, my carpentry license. So then while I was working for him at night, I was doing my college, etc., getting my licensing, getting my certificates, etc. And then I left. And when I left, I just started getting jobs on high pages. My goal was to go, get into residential building, make enough money, make $1 million and get a few guys in and build an industrial warehouse. I was so naive though, right? Because for me, it was like, I had come from just getting paid a salary every week, etc., to going into something where it's not, business isn't that simple in construction. You don't get paid on time, all this stuff. I didn't know none of that stuff. But I say this all the time. Being naive has got me to where I am. I'm not even lying to you, right? Because I think, oh, how hard could it be? Or, you know, how bad could it actually become or etc. So anyway, I left. I was on high pages. I was just getting jobs. I had a little fucking Navara ute. I was doing nothing, bro. And I got a deck, then a pergola, then a bathroom renovation. Then I got my kitchen, bathroom, laundry renovation license. Then just one thing, and then it just exploded. Got to a point where I was went from $20,000 jobs to like $500,000 jobs. And then I went from working out in my parents' backyard. I built this little pergola where I would stack, you know, my timber and have my vehicles. All the boys that I had working would start for my parents in the morning. I got a brand new warehouse. Then we started getting brand new vehicles. Then I was very process driven. So I just applied the same processes to that. And then we started making money. And then people started to value us. I was probably, 25, 26 by then. And then I started saying to guys, like, I want to do industrial warehouses. You know, I'm a rigger. I can do it like the back of my hand, X, Y, Z. And the goal was always that. And I banked up a bit of cash. And then I was ready to rock and roll. And then I thought of Idoliver. You know what I mean? And then...
so before we go to Idoliver, like at 22, 25, most guys that I know, including myself, were partying, drinking, chasing Sheilas. So who was the guiding light behind this early success, and who was sort of pushing you or mentoring you into doing what you're doing at such a young age?
But without sounding like a fucking, you know, egotistical maniac, but nobody.
Really?
Honestly, like I said to you, I done things because I was naive. I was just like, I'm going to do that. Or then I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to do that. It was just like, and because I had so much energy, I didn't rely on anybody to be like, validate what I was going to do.
Yeah.
I would just do it. And bro, I would like get it wrong so many times, right? But I just had, I didn't have goals when I was younger, right? Well, I had goals when I was younger, be a footy player, all that stuff when I was younger. But then as I grew out of that. When I left school, I had no goals, I had no plans, I had no ambitions. It was just like, I want to buy my parents a house, literally. I want to give my brothers and sisters, you know, a life where they can just make the decisions they want to make. I'd love to be a billionaire, right? Not for the money, but because the freedom. But I never actually thought I would ever come across something that would lead me to possibly becoming a billionaire, ever. Right. It was like, I'm just going to build industrial warehouses because they make cool money. I can buy my parents a house, take my family on a holiday. But there was no actual, like, no one I looked up to or no one because I didn't really understand it. It wasn't because no one was worthy. No, it was like, I never just looked at somebody, I want to be like that. It was just like, I want to do that thing, right? And then I would just do it. So
was it something in your upbringing? Like, are your brothers like that, or?
I don't. One of my brothers is how can I explain it? My second oldest brother, because I'm one of 5 boys. My second oldest brother, he's a fucking hard worker. Like, the cunt just fucking doesn't stop. Can I swear?
You didn't say that. Yeah.
Sorry. yeah, the guy just doesn't stop, doesn't let up. So, and I'll be honest with you, I worked for him for a long time. And I think I just absorbed things from him. Not that he was teaching me, but as a byproduct, I was just, learning this stuff and absorbing it and etc. And it just became, a part of who I was. He's very regimented, very process driven, very punctual, very thorough, very etc. But then there's some things that I'm not, right? Which I also learned from him too, not to be that thing and not to be that way and etc. Which for him might have been positive, but for me it wasn't, sort of, because I'm sort of different. But yeah, there was no real person or thing that drove me to be that way. It was just, bro, I just had stupid energy.
So yeah, I was about to bring that up.
Yeah.
So I remember the time we first met at Leif Gould's house, right?
Yeah.
And from the moment I met you, I just felt this immense intensity.
Yeah.
And for people that have known you through business, that is in all aspects of your life. Would that be right in saying that?
100%.
As a parent, training, like I deliver as a builder.
Yeah.
So what sort of keeps you on track to sort of keep that momentum going? Like, how do you maintain that?
Man, honestly, I'm just blessed with it because, like, there's nothing I do to keep it. It's just who I am.
Yeah.
Like, it's just what I do. I don't know how to do things at 99.5. I don't know. It's like one extreme. It's like I'll be a million miles an hour or I'll be completely asleep. There's no fucking in between, right? Literally no, and nothing. And it could be anything. It could be things I enjoy or I don't enjoy, right? And doesn't matter what I'm doing, I just do it to the fullest because I'm like, I'm in this moment right now. This is what I'm doing for the next hour or 2 hours. Why am I going to make it harder for myself? Or why am I going to make it harder for anybody else that's doing it with me? Or why am I not going to think about how this could possibly lead to something that is positive, this negative thing that I'm doing or that I don't like. So that was like but then on the good side, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I'm just excited person, bro.
Yeah.
Excited, full of energy. I just, how can I explain? I'm a dreamer, man.
Yeah.
I'm a massive dreamer.
Yeah.
I think about things and people.
But you're not only a dreamer, you put things into action.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of guys dream but do nothing.
Yeah, so maybe I try and put too many things into action, which is a problem. Like when my wife first met me, like when we first met, and I would talk to her about things, and then we would go to events and we would meet with like her, friends, partners and stuff like that, and I'd be talking and we'd be going on whatever, and then we get in the car to go home, and she'd be like, "Babe," she'd be like, "No one thinks like you." She's like I want to tell you this. She's like, because no one thinks about when we make it and when we. She's like, you say it in a way where it's like 100% certain it's going to happen. She's like, you're talking to people who work for people or work for somebody, etc. So, and it was never me trying to be like, hey, I'm this fucking guy. It was just that I didn't know how to talk about anything else because I was just so hyper focused on this is who I am, this is my life, this is where I want to go, this is what I want to do. And I was just like, it was sort of in a way trying to get them to say, hey, bro, like anyone can do this, But then...
Yeah, you got to be really careful about how you speak to. Like, you got to... Because it can actually deflate people.
100%.
So when I talk to you, I'm inspired by you, whereas a lot of people go, oh, shit, like this guy's making me feel bad because I'm not like that, right?
100%.
And I remember when we first met at Leif's house, right? I thought, oh, who's this young bloke? He's just a shit talker, right? Talking about this app back then. 4 years later, or even earlier, 3 years later, it's launched. I Deliver. Tell us about I Deliver and how it's got to where it's got to.
Like I said, I Deliver. So like, in a nutshell, we're like the Uber Eats of construction materials, but the pinnacle play is, we want to reinvent construction procurement, right? It's a very fragmented sort of thing. It's not really something that I was passionate about. It was just because I was so process driven. When I got into residential construction, I was like, but this is a schmozzle. How do people like manage their day to day? We worked in commercial space. I was used to big accounts, $1 million account with Hilti, $1 million account with Sika, $1 million account with this guy. You fucking need anything, they'll make it happen, right? When I got into resi space, I was just applied the same processes, but you get suppliers, yeah, mate, get it to you Thursday. I was just like, bro, like, what is this? Anyway, so I had about 7 or 8 guys, and I actually noticed that I was spending 3 to 4 grand a week surplus on guys going to Bunnings, downtime, or paying premium at suppliers we didn't have an account with, right? Which you're a tradie, you're a sparky, you run a business. But I didn't actually understand why the problem existed. One day, I was on site, I was on a roof, I literally ran short of 10 sticks of 4x2 and a box of batten screws. You run out of these every fucking day, right? So about 2 or 3 o'clock in the arvo, I jump on the phone. I called the nearest supplier to the site, which I had an account with, Hardware in General. I called, hey mate, how are ya? Can I get 10 sticks of timber and a box of batten screws? Yeah, mate, all good. It was Tuesday afternoon. I'll get it to you Thursday. I go, what? He goes, you missed 2 p.m. cutoff for next day delivery. I go, bro, so what? I'll give you $300 or $400. Get it out. And he goes, nah, I can't. I was like, the drivers are out. I was like, bro, when they get back, it's 10 sticks of timber and a batten screw. I'm 5 minutes away. Pay $300 or $400. Get it out. He's like, no, we can't. When they go back, they've got to load up for tomorrow. And I go, bro, all right, whatever. Fucking I hung up. And I didn't even think of anything. I go, oh, I'm just going to go. Send the boys to Bunnings. And I go, fuck. If I send the boys to Bunnings, by the time I get back, it's going to be 4:30, right? It's going to get dark. So I jumped on my phone. I literally started talking, timber delivered fast. And then I started thinking, bro, hang on a second. This is like, what I'm asking for is like Uber. I want an Uber for this space. I go, Uber for construction on my phone, like on Google. Nothing came up. And I go, but nobody does this. So being naive again, being full of energy, I literally, next thought, ADHD kicks in, completely forget about what I'm trying to fucking solve, message my cousin, bro, I want to build an app. Not even lying. Oh, my cousin's in IT. He goes, yeah, he knows.
How old?
25.
Yeah.
2021, yeah. Right? 2021. He says to me, bro, hold the thought. I'll talk to you when I see you, because he knows how I am, right? So I go, whatever. I don't think about it. A few weeks later, I don't get the job done. I go back the next day, right? A few weeks later, same thing happens, but I'm in an area I'm not familiar with, right? I ran out of brick. Or Bricky goes to me, I'm going to run short by lunchtime, pallet of bricks, or just short at shy of a pallet. I said, yes, sweet, I'll fucking get it. It was 7 o'clock in the morning. I get it, just sweet, I'll get it to you. I jumped on Google, I said, bricks near me. So I started calling every supplier. They're like, yeah, I got them in stock. I don't got them in stock. Yeah, I can get them to you at 3 o'clock. Yeah, I can get them to you at 10 o'clock. The guys that said they can get it to me a bit earlier, I tried to say, I'll give it to you now. Can you get it to me? I'll get it to you at 1 o'clock, whatever. Can you get it to me now? Nah. I sat on the phone for about half an hour, mind you, got off the phone. I go, fuck, I got no result. And then I go, like my labourer goes to me, bro, we just pick it up on the ute. I go, we can't. It's 1.4 ton. The fucking ute's got boxes on it. We can't do it. I go to Bricky, bro, when you run short, don't worry, they'll be here at 1 tomorrow. Just come back tomorrow. He goes, all right. Then I literally stood there and I go, I don't give a fuck. I'm building this thing. Right? I don't care. There's got to be a way for you to understand what suppliers are around you, what they've got. Like you're buying food on Uber Eats. You could be working in Timbuktu. You go on, you can get a kebab, you can get a burger, you can get whatever you want.
So what's the starting point? Are you building it yourself? Do you engage somebody? What's that process look like?
So then it sort of just stays as an idea, a thought, because I'm waiting on my cousin. Because I'm still in this
little... So why your cousin? Like, what's your cousin?
Because he to us, he had a massive bank,
right.
Massive tech head, built and sold platforms before, right. Just gets it, right? And for me, he was like the only guy that I knew that was in tech space. I never knew I was going to get into the tech space, you know what I mean? So I literally like just keep getting on with it. About a month later or 2 months later, I end up working at my cousin's house. And at the end of the night, we're finishing, I'm eating my food, we're leaving. I'm about to walk out the door and he goes, bro, remember that app you wanted to build? I go, yeah. He goes, what is it? I go, I want to build like Uber Eats for construction materials. And he goes, you're a fucking genius. And I go, fuck. And I valued this guy. I was like, maybe he does got legs. He goes, we're going to work on it. So we started working on it from a spreadsheet, blah, blah, just basic every week, whenever he had time. And then I got impatient. End of 2021, Christmas Day, I put a message in on Google. First software developer that came up on Google, I just clicked. I'm impulsive. I want to build an app, blah, 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 blah. I didn't think they would call me. They called me on Christmas Day. They said to me, come in a meeting January 5th. I went into a meeting, walked in, there was a room full of these tech heads, talking language I fucking didn't know what they were saying. What do you want to do? I want to build this app, blah, blah. What's the app? I told them. And then everybody in the room was just like, oh, boom. So it was just impulsive. From then on out, I just said, they sent me a proposal. I was like, yeah, start. I had money. It was just happening. And I didn't actually know what I was getting myself into, right? It was just like, I thought this idea. But then it got to a point, because I wanted to build industrial warehouses, I had to make a decision, right? And this was like now 2022, mid-2022. The app's getting built, but I have to make a decision of how much I'm going to put into this thing. And then my cousin goes to me, if you do this and you do this right, you'll walk away in 5, 6, 7 years' time with an exit of 500 million plus, right? He said, you'll be probably a global business. He said, you'll have ridiculous amounts of it. This is stuff I didn't understand. I had no idea what the startup space was, entrepreneurship, tech, founding, nothing.
So do you think in your head at some point, you thought about the two vehicles, right? Construction and tech, and what could make you more money. And you can make a shitload more money in tech than you can in building, right? So do you
100%.
reckon that thought crossed your mind?
No,
Because before you answer that, I remember being in your office, and it says on the whiteboard $5 billion.
yeah.
And there's not too many builders worth $5 billion,
No.
right? So do you reckon that was considered?
Look, what was considered was what I could do with the money.
Yeah.
That was it, right? And it was like industrial warehouses. It's good. It can make money. There's limited risk, I would say. If you know what you're doing, you'll do well. But what you'd make on one project, after 3 or 4 years in this tech thing, you'll probably 10x, 20x, whatever. To be honest, that was a later thought. At that time, it was just, I was still so naive, right? I was just like, fuck, tech. You know what? When I was younger, 18 years old, right? We do this job for this guy in Vaucluse. His son, do you know the game Doodle Jump? I don't know if you ever heard of a game Doodle Jump.
No.
There was a game called Doodle Jump. It fucking took the world by storm. A 12-year-old kid made that.
Really?
He was a millionaire at 13 years old. Ridiculous. And when he made that, when I found out about that kid, I go, fuck, I want to build an app. I was 18 years old, right? And lo and behold, 5 or 6 or 7 years later, God blessed me with the opportunity to not only build an app, but build an app in a space that, I love, which is construction.
All right. What I'm hearing here, right, is I'm reading between the lines here. You want to build a legacy.
Yeah.
And I feel that by having the app, you can retire knowing you've done something significant to change the world. Would I be right in saying that?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll relate it to something that we've spoken about. Adrian Portelli.
Yeah.
Right? I run amok with trying to get his attention. And I do. He responds, you know what I mean? He's responded a handful of times. He might know who I am, might not know who I am, whatever. But why I am so persistent with him is because he's built a legacy. And he's literally done everything I've wanted to do, right? He's changed people's lives, right? He thinks of a project and overnight it becomes a fucking business. He's bought a private jet, right? And he has essentially gone from being a fucking absolute nobody, to being fucking top shelf, but he still hasn't really changed, But his legacy is changing people's lives every fucking day of the week, So for me, and you know what, we probably got different values, right? Probably got different values, but I look at him and I say, brother, you're big on family, you're big on changing people's lives, you're big on giving opportunity, you're big on not thinking you're more important than you are, you know what I mean? Interacting with people on social media every single day, being a billionaire, it's almost unheard of, right? It's becoming a thing, right? It's becoming a thing, but it's almost unheard of. But you're 100% right, Legacy is what I want to leave behind. When I say legacy, it's not as if, I want to be known, centuries down the line. No. I just want the next 3 or 4 or 5 generations, whether they're my family generations or whatever they are, to have, somebody, a case study to refer to that shows them that, bro, you can be an almost, you can be a complete dud growing up. Nobody can give you attention. You can think you are an actual dud as well, and then out of nowhere, brother, you can turn it around and, in the space of 5 to 10 years, you can build a legacy.
Yeah. So there's obviously a bit of behind the scenes, right? So you got a very supportive wife and a
100%.
beautiful little daughter, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about her support. So she's in the corner with you, right?
Oh, man.
So how do you maintain her love while you're off doing all this stuff? Is it your faith? Is it your background? Is it your family? What is it?
You know what? I think it's more her, more her than me. How do I maintain her love? She helps me maintain her love, you know what I mean? Or she helps me, you know what I mean? Stay true to who I am with her. Look, to be honest, I'm just blessed with that. There's no other explanation for it because I didn't know that I was going to go off and do this stuff, right? So the person that I met and the person that I fell in love with and the person that I married and the person that she fell in love with and she married was just this guy who was ambitious, who had a good building business, who just wanted to do simple stuff and have a be. And I'm very family orientated, ridiculously family orientated, right? I I've just, gone off on this fucking journey, and in the process of going off this journey, I've literally minced everything that there is. Like I said to her,
What do you mean minced? What do you mean?
like there is nothing. When I say I've completely, how can I explain it? I've going from being so fucking present to being not so present.
So she obviously sees you as an investment too, right? Because everything's an investment.
Yeah,
Everything.
Yeah, for sure.
So she must look at you and go, you know what? He's chasing his dream.
100%.
However, I can see him going in the right direction, and this is going to benefit all of us.
And she
right?
knows I'll never fall off the wagon.
Yeah.
She knows I'll never go and play
So
up.
is this a like? Obviously, you're I know you're Lebanese, right?
Yeah.
I'm Australian with a Russian background. Is it a cultural thing? Is it the way like these women are brought up?
It is, man.
Yeah.
It is like, and I don't want to get political or anything, but you look at what's happening overseas right now. Yeah, I'm from south of Lebanon, you know what I mean, and we've been in an ugly war. But if you just look at some of those, like the soldiers that are fighting, you look at some of the things that their wives and their mothers and that say, and their mothers say, no, like I gave one son, and I want to give the rest for the land. I want to give the rest for our rights. I want to give the rest for our honor. I want to give the rest for our like it's and yeah. I think it's not all of them, but the large majority of them, yes. Some of them get I would say westernized, for lack of a better term, and but they start to chase image, and they start to etc. But my wife, because I don't care about things, but I literally do not give a flying. I told her the other day, she was fucking furious, but like in a funny way. She was at work, yeah, and I got up.
I can't imagine her the sort of girl to get or woman to get furious though.
Yeah,
furious.
No.
Nah.
When I say furious, she was just like, "Babe, are you serious?" She's like, "Do you have any shame?" I was like, "Babe, I don't care, right?" Because a lot of her friends live around us, yeah. So I was walking. It's normal for you to do this, but I took my daughter for a walk, and I go, "Bro, I'm just gonna go barefoot, right?" So I walked barefoot. Bro, Arabs do not, bro. They sleep in shoes almost, right?
Really?
Like barefoot outside is just. It's like, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, like it's ridiculous, right? But I'm a house kid, bro. I grew up in the park, you know what I mean? So she grew up in a very Lebanese cultural sort of setting. So I go to her, she goes to me, oh no, I got on my feet are hurting. And she goes, why? I got a blister. She goes, why? I go, I walked Zara to your parents barefoot. She goes, baby, you serious? I was just like to her, why? She's like, what if people saw you? I was just like, I don't give a fuck.
Really?
She's just like, do you not care? I was just like, yeah. I was like, bro, I was comfortable. I was wanting to walk him. So I don't care, right? So she knows that, and because I'm like that, it rubs off on her, right? So she doesn't let, like, we've been in some tough times, bro. Like, it was too hard, coming out the arse end of it. And a lot of people would have pulled the pin, bro. Pulled the pin. I actually said to her like 3 months ago, I said, why are you still here? Like I know you'll never leave, but like, why are you still here? Mm-hmm. She's like, because you told me at the start, you give me life, and sometimes you'll give me nothing, right? But then the time that you're giving me nothing, it's because you want to give me like unlimited life. And she goes, you told me that from the start. And she goes, you didn't know you were going to do this. She goes, but look, it hasn't changed you. She goes, if anything, it's made you like, if anything, this whole journey has just, concentrated who I am, yeah? Because my circle is ridiculously small, you know what I mean? Like, when I say ridiculously small, because I don't have time to do things that, like you said before, like party or go out to dinner. And I'd rather crack a barbie in my backyard with 10 people than go out to dinner to a noisy place. My missus took me to Mr. Wong's 3 or 4 months ago. And I said, babe, I love you. Don't ever bring me here again. Because I couldn't even, I couldn't even concentrate, right? I couldn't even focus. But yeah, anyway, like, yeah, very supportive, ridiculously supportive, probably much more supportive than she should be. I say if the shoe was on the other foot, I probably wouldn't be as supportive. I say that, right? Because there's been times where, like there's no reason to fucking continue. And I just say to her, I have to get up and go.
Yeah.
I don't
I must say, you are, at 30 years old, you are well beyond your years, right? And to look at where I was compared to where you are now, and you are 20-fold mentally and in terms of your goals ahead of where I was. So it's a credit to you. You can imagine when you get to my age, you're just going to be like catapulted into the stratosphere, right?
God willing.
So let's fast forward to today.
Yes.
So where is I Deliver at,
Yeah.
and where's it going?
So I Deliver, we're a fully fledged platform. You know, we've got about 100 partners, 100 suppliers. We've got a whole bunch of customers. So we can get anything. You can buy any material on our platform that would essentially go into a residential build from groundwork to lock up, so to speak, right? We have a delivery platform. So we've got the Uber Eats for construction side, and we've got the Uber for construction side. We're a fully fledged platform. We've got an app. We've got a web app. We've got an online store. We've got 5 or 6 other channels that you can, purchase orders on. We've got a fully fledged, 20-person team that's, on the software side, marketing side, etc. And then we've got, a good driver base. And yeah, where's I Deliver going? Ideally, I would like to make a dent in the construction industry on a global scale. And that is because I truly believe that the way construction is done in Australia is done the same or relatively the same in all Western countries, and there's no reason why we can't go and reinvent join companies that are reinventing procurement in construction in other countries. And ideally, I would like a multi-billion-dollar exit, but that's not because I want that. It's because I truly believe that something like this can, achieve that. If I compare it to, say, something like Uber, Uber's a multi-$100 billion business. If we can achieve 1% of what they've achieved, well, then, a multi-billion-dollar business. And that will enable me to do the next 100 things that I want to do without needing to think about, you know what I mean? Because I'm a very generous person in the sense where I don't really, there's been countless amounts of times where I've done things that you probably wouldn't do just to make tomorrow happen without the guarantee that the next day was going to happen, right? Like, I sold my property for one, right? I sold my property to pay a bill that was going to get me through tomorrow without the guarantee that I was going to make it to the next day, yeah? But yeah, today we're a fully fledged platform. We're doing well. But I also, the way I look at my business in the sense where I've got it to a point where as long as I fucking turn up every day, it is unreasonable for me not to be successful in 10, 12, 13 years, right? It's not about...
There's a compounding effect, right?
Whereas before, I used to be like, I want to exit by 2030. I want to exit by etc. Whereas now, I was just like, no, this is what I'm doing. And this is where I'm going to be. I'm 30 years old, and this is what I'm going to focus on. And I'm just going to run my own race, right? Because if I run my own race and I do things my way, yeah, like I said, Alex Hormozy says it perfectly. From a probability standpoint, if you had to mathematically look at this, if you turned up every fucking day and gave 100%, 99% every day for 10 years, it is mathematically unreasonable for you to not have progressed, let alone be successful, right? So it might not be talent that gets me there. Yeah. It will be hard work. Yeah. One or the other.
Well, there's an old saying, and it goes, consistency does not guarantee success. However, being inconsistent almost certainly guarantees failure. 100%. So just do the little 1%ers every single day.
100%.
It's like I was listening to this thing the other day when I forget the guy's name, and he was talking about when you go to the gym, right? You go to the gym once, you come home, look in the mirror, what do you see? You see nothing. It's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you don't see much. It's not until 3 months, 6 months, 12 months you start to see results, right? Yeah. So it's easy to turn up for work and sort of build your app after one day. You think it's not working. Yeah. But over time, like you said, eventually it works.
And I'll say something on that. There has been nothing about the last 3 years. There's nothing about tomorrow in the last 3 years has been attractive. Yeah. Nothing about tomorrow. There's nothing about tomorrow that has said to me, come, bro, it's going to be a mad day. Yeah? But I've literally made a decision at the start of this. It's either fucking ultimate success or I'm crashing and burning. Yeah. And when I say crashing and burning, like, to a point where there is nothing to even salvage, yeah? So it's one way or the other, yeah?
I want to lean on that, the decision, right? So a lot of people use their background, their history, their upbringing as an excuse. Yeah. You didn't come from money. I didn't come from money. But you made a decision.
Yeah, 100%.
You made a decision that you want to do something outside the realm of the 9 to 5, right? Yeah. So if you made the decision and your motto, right? Yeah. Every day is a Monday until every day is a holiday.
Literally.
How is that? I know you got an intense personality, right? Yeah. You're focused. Yeah. How do you maintain that? Because every time I see you, you're smiling, you're intense. There surely must be times where you go...
I'm a very logical person.
But surely there must be times when you sit in the car going, fuck this.
Oh, bro, I'm human. 100%. 100%. But I also... I'll give you an example, right? It might get to a point where I need to pay some bills and I haven't got the money to pay it, right? And there's two options. Either I'm going to get up in the morning and call everybody and say we're pulling the pin, or, which I'm not going to do, or I'm going to have this hard conversation with somebody that might lend me money or might not lend me money. That's going to lead to me having another conversation with my team to tell them that, hey, I need you to bear with me. Yeah. So unless I'm going to pull the pin, right, which I'm not going to do, then there's no point dwelling on it. Get up and fucking move, bro, right? Like, that's the honest to God truth, yeah? And I didn't actually make a decision, right? When I got into this, I told you I was naive before. But when I was sound enough to actually understand what I was doing, that's when I made the decision. And I was already 2 years in. Don't get me wrong. I could have very easily pulled the pin there when it got tough, went back to building, turning over good money and doing etc. But I said, you know what, bro? Like, I can do that whenever. I'm 30 years old, right? I could fall over in 2, 3, 4, 5. But some people don't start to 40, right? Some people work for people to their 40 and then start a business. So I was like, bro, I don't care. You know what I mean? And for me, like, I've already given everything. I don't have a safety net. I sold my property, sold my assets, descaled my business. Like, there's nothing left to give. Any dollar that I could squeeze on anything, I've used to keep this thing going. So, like, it can't get any worse. So just roll, man.
I suppose the thing on your side is time, right?
Yeah.
You're younger. So
100%.
for all the listeners out there that are older, like I'm
Yeah.
44, there's probably listeners out there that are older, right? It's never too late to
100%.
change. You look at Colonel Sanders, KFC. What was he, 74
Whatever,
when he launched a franchise?
Rejected it, countless amounts of times.
And I often talk about this with, these interest rates, right, and mortgages and that. Having a mortgage is the golden handcuffs.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you sign a mortgage and you're locked into a house,
100%.
you're forced to work for that employer. It's very, very difficult to start that business. So before you sign a mortgage, my opinion, and I'm in a mortgage now and I am trapped.
Yeah.
However, make a commitment to what you actually want to do, because obviously you're not into a mortgage just at the moment. But
Not
you
even
probably
interested in being one.
and that's right.
I'm not even joking.
And you'll probably be able to buy
Yeah.
10 houses outright once your business launches, right? So make
Literally,
a decision.
For me, yeah, 100%.
The great Australian dream, which I'm sure you probably disagree with, is your own family home. It's the biggest load of shit ever.
It's a great Arab dream too. You know what I mean?
Oh, is it really?
Oh man, I'm not even lying to you. Just go get a job, go become a doctor, right? Buy a house, yeah. Pay off your house, so then when your kids grow up, you can buy them a house. Yeah. Bro, my dad was a taxi driver for 40 years, bro. Right? When I got up every day for morning prayer, 3 or 4 in the morning, put his work. It's very regimented, right? And went to work. Do you know when I told him that I was going to do what I was going to do? My brother started a business that was successful, right? Do you know when I told him that I was going to do what I was going to do? It was almost like I had fucking sucked the life out of him. But I never, even his reaction, like, I didn't tell him because I wanted his approval. No, I was just letting him know. This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm at. I thought of this thing, etc. But to them, it's so foreign, right? Because my dad always told me, a little bit with no headache is better than a lot. You know what I mean? With unlimited headaches, yeah? And I just say, Dad, I like to be busy, and that's it. But it's the great Arab dream. Like, for me, I always say, I come across people all the time, bro, and they're saying, bro, you're 30 years old, far out, how have you done this? I'm like, bro, I've done nothing. I'm not even successful yet. I'm not even lying to you. Like, I'm nowhere near success. I'm successful in the sense of experiences, 100%, right? Because I can almost do anything after this, yeah? But in terms of business, no, I haven't succeeded. Bro, I'm closer to failure than I am to success every fucking day of the week. But I say to guys, who cares, bro? Go up. Alex Hormozy says it perfectly. And I keep referring to him because he says things just like, brother, this guy's on the money. Yeah. How successful you will become is how willing you are to look stupid. Yeah. Yeah? Because
that's what everyone's worried about, right?
Bro,
you start everything bad.
Bro, I borderline look like bro, for lack of a better term, you know what I mean? A spastic, right? Yeah. Doing things sometimes. But I actually know I'm looking like a spastic, and I don't care because I'm like, 50 reps look like a spastic, 100 reps, 150, 200 reps, bro, we're going to start, rolling, and then we'll get there, right? And I don't care. And that's my wife, like, loves me. She's like, I love that because the same way you don't care about what anyone thinks in your personal life, you don't care about what people think of you in your business life, And I always say to people, bro, from the outside looking in, it looks like we're a monstrosity, yeah? But it's not like that, It might look like Apple from the outside, but inside we're a corner shop, And we're still learning.
Well, I don't know if you know Jason Ballo, the guy that does this.
Yeah.
So he just did my house,
yeah,
right?
I saw that.
I got to know him really well, right? Like
over
the course of an hour. Yeah. And I look back on some of his history. Anyway, when he started doing his videos and he was on a podcast and they said, "Oh, you're an overnight success." He goes, "Hang on a minute. I did 400 videos before I became an overnight success." I said, "What do you put it down to?" He goes, "I got to a point where I'm like, I'm going to do me and I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks."
Yeah.
And he took off. He was genuine.
100%.
And now he's doing really, really well, but it was only since February this year. But everyone looks at him and go, "Oh, you've always been successful." He goes, "Mate, when I had he's got twin daughters. I think he's got twin daughters. So he's got twins. I don't know I think it's a boy or a girl." He goes, I didn't know how I was going to be able to buy them formula.
Bro.
And they're a couple of years old.
Bro.
And now in February, he's doing really well, but you don't look at his history, right?
No, 100%. No
So
one
he
does.
just decided, I don't care what anyone thinks, and boom, took off. And he's
100%.
humble.
100%. And for me, like, I don't care. Bro, sometimes I go out and do these orders and deliveries and extra, and I rock up and be like, "Bro, what are you doing with the delivery?" I'm like, "Bro, that's not what you think it is." You know what I mean? Like, I'm here, you know, we're running at this full steam, you know what I mean? Of like, we're having a proper crack here.
Yep.
And as part of having a proper crack, it means we have to fucking get out there and do what you think no founder does or no business owner does, or because everybody's got this cliche view of, you know, I want to be an influencer, I want to be a content creator. Everybody's got this cliche. Bro, you look at like, you know, some of the best streamers in the world as an example, you know, what they did, you know, just to become who they, like, just to become what they are, right?
You look at Jake Paul's a perfect example,
Bro,
right?
you know, like it's perfect example of you can be anything one day and be anything the next, right? The guy was a, you know, Disney character almost, right? And now he's turned into this almost, you know, aspiring world champion boxer. Like, it's just, bro, it just goes to show the minute you make a decision that you do not give a fuck about anybody, anything.
It's a powerful position,
and
right?
not only that, you will not, when I say you don't give a fuck about anything, you will not shy away from your morals and you will not shy away from your values and you will stay true to yourself. But as part of staying true to yourself, you will do anything and everything you need to do to get there without doing anybody wrong.
Yeah.
Brother, best decision of your life.
You know what? I say this to my kids, and I say to my kids, in life, people aren't going to like you. And you got to come to terms with that, right?
100%.
As long as they don't like you because you lie, cheat, or steal.
Yeah, 100%.
If they don't like you because
100%.
you're too intense or they don't
Correct.
like you, bad luck.
That's
just come to terms
that's a
with that.
personal
It's none of your
defect of
business.
their own.
It's right. So just
Honestly.
don't do the wrong thing by people. Lie, cheat, or steal, right?
yeah,
and that's
100%.
if you follow that and you go through life like that, working hard
Yeah.
and inspiring to do better things, how can you lose?
100%. And I'll add to that, right? There's been circumstances I've been in my journey in the last 3 years that I would never thought I would encounter. Conversation I've had to have with people that I never thought I would have. You know, I was a brilliant payer. I always looked after people, etc. But there was times where, bro, I didn't have money to pay anything, right? I'm not even lying to you. Once I went to a coffee shop, I swear to God, I went to a coffee shop to buy a coffee. I had never been in this coffee shop before, right? I went to pay, my card declined. I'm not even lying to you. It was the first time it happened to me. Happened to me multiple times after that. First time my card declined. And the coffee's there, it's hot, he's made it. I'm fucking go, like, pay it, it declines. He's just looking at me and I just go, bro, can you just give me a sec? And he's just like, yeah, I was like, bro, you mind if I take the coffee with me? Walk aside.
And you ran.
No. I could message my missus, bro, can you check? Like, this is how it was, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, as long as even in those moments, you call people and you tell people, bro, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at. I didn't mean to do you wrong. I'm not doing you wrong. I didn't mean to, etc. Like, I didn't mean to take this long, etc. As long as you just be that person, you will be fine.
Yeah.
Where people go wrong is they shy away from their problems.
You know what it is? It's the tough conversation.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to have the tough conversation. I'll give you an example, right? I'm selling my house at the moment, right?
Yeah.
We got 4 agents in. We selected an agent.
Yeah.
Before I actually rang the agent to tell him he got the job, I'd rang the other 4 guys out of courtesy to go, because the last thing I want is for them to see a sign up on my front lawn and it wasn't the guy that originally came, right? So I rang them up and it was a shit conversation. I didn't want to do it. And I said to my missus, like, I can't expect my missus to do that shit stuff. That's my job, right? So I rang them all up out of courtesy and everyone, like, goes, thank you so much. How often people do that is so rare. So thank you. I really appreciate it. And the way they reacted was meant so that I'll be thinking, you know what, I'd probably still refer them a job. Whereas if they gave me the guilt trip, which one guy did do, I'm like, you know what, you're wiped.
You know what's funny? Shoe on the other foot now, right? You've priced jobs before and you've lost. Yeah. When people call you, but it happened the other day. I lost a $550,000 job 2 days before I was meant to start, right? The guy called me and he asked me 1, 2, 3, blah, blah. I said, brother, it's all good. Part and parcel of the gig. It's part and parcel of me being a builder, pricing work, X, Y, Z. Like, I expect this stuff. You got to be in it to win it, brother. And you got to give 100% at every attempt, right? Because you don't know which attempt you're going to win and which attempt you're not going to win. So at the end of the day, you know, like it's very courteous when people call you and tell you that and give you that sort of courtesy. And you just you got to sort of give that back when you're in the position.
All right, we're going to shift gears a little bit here. So when I invited Mo onto the show, I left it to the last minute to let him know that there's a bit of a physical challenge, right? And the reason for the physical challenge is what it represents about. It's like facing resistance head on and proving that every test counts. After the challenge, we'll dive straight into a question about discipline and mindset. So the challenge is the hot sauce, and I'll read the label just in case anyone doesn't know. It says, and my eyes are really bad as I'm getting older. It says, be warned, this hot sauce contains ingredients 900 times hotter than jalapeno chilies. Use sparingly. Ultra death should not be consumed without dilution. So it's been done before, so it is safe. However, and the other option is the sniffing salts, and this has only been used once. So there's some serious intensity behind that. So what are you choosing today, Mo?
I'll go, bro, the hot sauce,
All right, so it's last week we did half a teaspoon. It's on you.
I'll be doing half too, bro. Might even a quarter.
So doing the hot sauce and I'll do the sniffing salts.
All right. Let's do this.
Come on, here we go. This is see how tough you are. Show the camera.
Where's the camera?
Yeah.
Here it is. Here it is. Fuck. Oh.
How's
Gets
that?
worse.
So
Jesus, that's hot.
the jalapeno chilies, are they the
Bro, I hate chili.
the jalapeno chilies are the ones you have at Subway, isn't it? Those green things?
Yeah,
There it is, yeah.
I don't
So,
want jalapeno, but fuck.
so 900 times,
Who
right?
enjoys that? It's concerning.
Oh, that's the thing. Like, who's having that? What do you do with it? If it's so
I've
hot,
never met anyone that-
what's the idea? If it's so hot, why do you have to dilute it? Why don't they just make it diluted?
100%.
It's a Flex Ultra Def. It came with a skull keyring.
Bro, yeah, that's just fucking, there you go, bro. It's probably some fucking.
All right, so I'm having the bottle of Insanity sniffing salt. So a bit of history behind this. For the OzTag and Touch tournaments my sons get picked in to Coffs Harbour and that, I bring this with us. And part of the journey is all the fathers have got to have a sniff of the sniffing salts. So that's how it all started, right? So
What's in it?
So it's I don't know, like
good
this. No, it's not good for you. It's got I think it's got ammonium.
Isn't that explosive?
I don't know.
Is it?
Ammonia? Something. It's got something in it.
Anyway.
Anyway, so a bit of history. But I said this in the last episode, right? So when I bought this bottle the first time, I cracked the lid, had a sniff, and nothing. I'm like, it's not working. So then I read the instructions, and there was like a little red spoon in the jar.
You gotta actually.
And it says you got to add water and shake it up, right? And the water activates the sniffing salts. So then I cracked it again, had a sniff, and mate, I swear to God, I was out the front on my hands and knees, thinking I'd done something permanent, like looking up, like I couldn't talk.
Wig.
It was so bad. So anyway, this bottle's only one sniff old. So here we go.
Wait, one second. You'd be all right to continue after this.
Well, that's the idea, right? So there we go. All right. So whenever you see someone do sniffing salts, they rip the lid off, then they wait. The smell's leaving.
Yeah.
So the idea of the sniffing salts is as you crack the lid, you have a sniff.
Okay.
I'm actually not looking for it. I'd rather do the chili, to be honest. All right.
Oh. This guy. There is no. Bro, you're a staunch. I would never do that.
Oh, my God.
You're a staunch, and if you reacted like that, bro, it would be show over
Oh,
for
my
me.
God.
100%. But this is still kicking.
Yeah. My nose is still burning bad. Far out. That was intense.
Now we talk about what the fuck's the point of the chili being so hot? What the fuck's the point of that?
So you see, like those strongmen, or like, far out. That was really painful. The strongman, you see like Eddie Strongman and Barry Hall and all those guys, before they're doing like a big lift, they'll have a sniffing salt to really make them alert. But
Making them alert.
Good God.
It's almost paralysing, bro, by the
That
looks
was
of it.
paralyzed. That was bad.
Jesus.
Anyway, moving on.
How long is this going to last? Is what I
Oh,
wanna know.
my God.
How many shows are you to actually do this for before it becomes
Well, the more you do that, the weaker it gets, right?
once a week, though? That's
Far
not enough.
out.
Surely.
Oh, my God. So
All right.
you're obviously a really focused guy, right? That's clear and evident. So what's a message you'd share to someone out there that's struggling, that really wants to be in, say, your shoes or the shoes that you're going to be in eventually? What's a message that you can share with the viewers that would inspire them or teach them or get them on the path towards where you are now?
Do things that you don't want to do better or on the same level that you would do things you do want to do, because you're going to encounter more things you don't want to do in the first 3, 4, 5 years of business, right? Before you begin to enjoy the fruits of it, right? So get up tomorrow and just look for things you don't want to do, right? Become good at things you don't want to do, because if you do the things that you do want to do, you'll do so much better. You know, you excel at, you'll perform at, etc. And that for me, I swear, has been one of the biggest things, because there's been so many situations I've not wanted to be in, and not only just be in situations, but then deal with the bullshit of the situation. Yeah. And I'll just, bro, do it with a smile on my face. Like, I'll give you an example, you know? I could get a phone call on a Friday afternoon at 6 o'clock when I'm just about to head home. It happened 2 weeks ago. Something needs to be done. There's no one around to do it. I'll get up, jump in the truck, dust the old truck, go and do it, make it happen, get home at 10 o'clock. But you know what? The whole way through it, I make the most of it. I enjoy it. I get some content, etc. Blah, blah, blah. So, and not only that, don't not do something because you anticipate it's going to be a certain way, right? Because 9 times out of 10 you'll be wrong, right? That's the honest to God truth. I'll give you an example. About a month ago, we went to go buy a truck. My brother, who's got the lowest stress tolerance I've ever seen in my life, right? He's my 5'8", which is so bizarre. But it's maybe because I've just, bore things head on, and he's just been, passenger. We went to go buy a truck, and the truck had on the ad, something wrong with it. And I go to my brother, bro, it's worth 30 grand. We're gonna get it for like 6 grand. Yeah. He goes, bro, it's gonna be a fuck around, whatever. And I go, bro, we'll just go there. We'll do with the fuck around, and you'll be surprised. So anyway, we went there. The guy ended up being a bigger fuck around than we thought it was gonna be, as I expected. Went to start, it wouldn't start. Then I had to go back the second day. And my brother's like, bro, what are we doing? I'm like, bro, we'll just go back. Anyway, ended up getting the truck for 6 grand. And it cost us 2 grand to fix it. We got a $32,000 truck. I go, bro, do you see what happened there? Yeah. I go, bro, we dealt with an hour of bullshit. That wasn't even an hour of bullshit. I go, we were just dealing with somebody who didn't know what he was doing, right? I go, dealt with an hour of bullshit. I go, look at it. You got a mad truck now. You got a $30,000 truck. And you got the ability to take our business to the next level, right? If you just, like I said, don't anticipate something's going to be a certain way. But yeah, back to the original thing. Do things that you don't want to do better on the same level of the things that you do want to do.
So another way of putting that, would you agree with this, is on the other side of a bit of pain, there's the rewards, right?
I want to start hanging out with you more, because at the end of the day, you summarize my 5,000 words into a sentence, and it's really 100%.
Because getting up in the morning, I tell me, you're way more driven than I am, way more. Getting up in the morning, I get up at 5 o'clock every morning, all right? Not one morning, for the first 5 minutes that I want to get up. Not one. I never go, fucking bring it, ever. And I say to myself, I'll just get up for 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes, I'm on my way, right?
100%.
And you never leave the gym, or you never leave work, going for a walk or whatever you're doing in the morning, and 100%. Go, fuck, wish I'd slept in.
1,000,000%.
Never.
1,000,000%.
Never. So just do it.
I smashed my phone last night.
Yeah.
Smashed my phone completely to pieces, right? And I had to get up extra early this morning because I needed to transfer the stuff, because I needed to wait for the old phone to back up yesterday. Transfer the stuff over. Hey, so I got up like 4:30 this morning, transferred the stuff, got my phone, everything in order, because I was worried that you were going to message me at 6 o'clock and I wasn't going to be able to see it because of the thing. So I got it. No, it's the honest to God truth. All right. It's Saturday, bro. I don't want to fucking get up before. Even though I get up to pray, yeah, but it's a Saturday. I would have got up to pray, possibly went back to bed. If my daughter was awake, I would have, continued today. But at the end of the day, bro, urges. You know, even if you, like, that's what I narrow things down to. If you can get past the urge of going back to sleep, which is, bro, 10 seconds. It's like getting past the urge of wanting to eat a pizza, right? If you're hungry now, I want to get a pizza, bro. You walk past the pizza window, your urge. If you just keep walking past the pizza, bro, you'll get a salad, right? You will, honestly, right? It's the urge that fucking ruins people, right? It's people giving in to the urge.
It's, you know, I do the same thing. It's funny because I love sugary drinks. Right? I don't drink sugar, but I'll have like something
like a Red
sweetener
Bull.
or whatever. I love all that.
Yeah.
But when I'm craving that at the servo, before because I've always got a bottle of water in my car, right? But I'm thinking, I'm at the servo. I have something sweet, right? I chug water before I go in. It's like going to the supermarket hungry, right? You make poor decisions.
Yeah.
So I just chug water, and when I'm in, fuck that. I'll just pay for my petrol and go, right?
100%.
Just quickly before we conclude the praying, right?
Yeah.
Would you say, because prayer, you're obviously Muslim, would you say prayer is a big part of why you're so disciplined? Because you obviously have to pray a certain amount of times a day. Is that a...
Yeah, look, praying for me, it's funny. I go to a class on Mondays, right? I go to it's a Muslim class. It's a theology class. I go for two reasons. One, because I'm actually intrigued by my religion, and two, because I want to stay grounded, right? As I grow in success, I want to, because when I commit to things, I commit. So I'm going to commit to, I've committed to this Monday class. It's my second term. I said to them, I want to be here forever, right? So if I go to that Monday class, it will always bring me back because I'm going there. There's normal people, there's general people, live normal lives, etc. But I pray because we were talking about the other day. It's just like, and you got scholars there, clerics that have spent 15 years studying, right? 20 years studying overseas, and it's just like if I didn't have to pray, no one wants to get up and pray in the morning, but you get up and do it because you are serving somebody you've committed to or something you've committed to, which is God. Yeah. For me, praying just gives me the 5 moments or the 3 main moments every single day where I essentially remember that, bro, I'm nothing. This earth is fucking fiscal, and we're not here forever, and we're here for a very, very short time in the grand scheme of things, right? Because before we pray, we have to do a quick wash and etc. And I try and pray on time every day, right? In the morning I pray, but sometimes during the day it's a bit hard because you're out, etc. But I try and pray on time every day, and that just completely exiting whatever I'm doing to go and pray, gives me a reminder that, hey, you're nothing, you're not more important than you are. You are worshiping somebody. We're here on a temporary earth for X, blah, blah, blah. And I sort of channel that back into my life because that's why I don't take things seriously. Because I know, but tomorrow could be all over, right? I know I could walk out of here, hot sauce can, be the end of me, right? You don't know. So praying, 100%. It just keeps me grounded, keeps me true to myself, and it checks me that I'm not more important than who I am. I'm not, more impressive than who I am, and I'm no way as infinite as I think I am. You know what I mean? Because some people, when they get to a certain status, they fucking have, that God complex, right? Where they start to, want to dictate people's lives and, think that they can sort of, do things that, you wouldn't necessarily do if you were a person of integrity and a person, of morals and etc. So for me, it's just, I know that it's so funny, man. I won't say who it is, multinational business, and I met with a guy, and the guy was a Mormon, and I swear to God, the first thing he said to me was, how do you stay so sound, so religiously sound in such a soulless space? I swear to God. And I go, and it was in my infancy when I first got into the space. I didn't know what this space was like. And he was a Mormon, right? And I was just like, I don't really like seeing. He's just like, mate, you're going to come across some treacherous people, and you're going to see some treacherous things. He said, because people worship money, and you're in a space where money has no ceiling, And I was just like, it scared me because I was like, bro, I never want to become that person. So praying it enables me to stay disciplined, stay true to who I am, stay understanding of exactly just how fucking unimportant I am.
Yeah, I'm not religious, and I respect people who are religious, right? And I look at it for people that aren't religious out there watching. praying to God or
Yeah.
whatever you're doing,
Yeah.
or the universe. You can pray to the universe, just pray to or manifest, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
There's always someone higher than us, whether it be God, universe,
Correct.
whatever it is.
100%.
And I think a big part of life is being grateful for what you got
Yeah.
and looking that, you know what, the world is bigger than just you
100%.
or me. Right?
Yeah,
Or
million
you or
percent.
me.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so.
For sure.
All right, mate. Well, we've got to wrap it up. We've been talking for like an hour now, mate. Thanks for
Appreciate it.
coming on. Appreciate it. Very
very
good friend of
much.
mine, Mo. But in conclusion of the show, guys, at the end of the day, discipline is freedom. Success doesn't come from one big moment. It comes from the small choices stacked day after day. That's why everything counts. Thanks for tuning in. This episode gave you, or if this episode gave you value, please share it with a mate. Leave a review and join the movement on Instagram and TikTok at Everything Counts. And remember, the man you want to be tomorrow is built by the choices you make today. Until next time, everything counts.